Good morning and welcome back to Honey Milk Farmstead. I'm Mel and I am making this video because one of our viewers has requested a video of milking the entirety, the complete milking thing. So I thought I'd start here because I have a coffee every morning that I take out with me to the milking area. It's my incentive to keep doing this for the fresh milk. So that's obviously where this starts, and I usually make Brock a coffee as well because he comes and helps, and the kids get chai. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm about to make where we're going to do the milking process from beginning to end. I usually cut out parts of it that I think you won't be interested in, but obviously some of you are interested. So come along with us and enjoy the video. Okay, this is the milking machine I use at the moment. I am looking at getting a different one, but setting this one up is really easy. The air hose that goes to the actual machine is in the center hole, and then that plugs into the bottom of the machine, which I'll show you when I get out there. And the other hose that goes on the edge is the suction hose. So that's all been cleaned and it sits here out of our way. That's the filter that we use for the milk later, but I always make sure that you have this in the center of these clips, and then you clip the clips on. It's got a little rubber seal in the top around here so that it actually fully seals, and we put that on there and take it out. We also, because at the moment we're feeding babies, we make bottles for babies, and that bucket there has a natural cleaning product that's soft and gentle and fully natural. So if any of that cleaning stuff gets into the milk, there's no drama for us. It's called On Guard. doTERRA make it, and they're an essential oil company. That's just who I use. But you could use anything natural like that. And just make sure that you give the udder a thorough clean. I got my coffee, my cleaning bucket, and everything that I need, and we're going to go out to the milking area.
Still my coffee, it'll be a bad day.
So, if I've got a coffee, I always need help. Brock brings out the cleaning bucket and helps me get some things set up. If I do it on my own, it takes a bit longer and I do extra trips, but it's not a big deal.
That's the bird
In the trailer next to my car.
Me?
Take out what? So the center tube that I talked about just goes into this little nozzle here. That's what sucks the air, and then the rest of this just sits like that. That's the power cord. We have that plugged in here, ready to go, and this little knob here is what we use to turn it on and off and regulate the speed and all that sort of stuff.
Something.
Yep.
Could I use, if I was going to do the aerating with the pump, could I use this as an aerator pump?
No, it sucks. It doesn't flow. It's an aerator pump flows. I also put my cleaning water just there, so it's accessible. I use it at the very beginning of cleaning, but also sometimes if she kicks the cups off and all that, I make sure I clean everything again. That's why I use the On Guard, because it's a natural antibacterial, anti-everything. So, yeah, that's why I use that. Where's the scoop, kids?
The barrel. It's in that green barrel.
This green barrel here. Oh, there it is.
She's a bit angry today, guys.
That's right. No, she's just impatient. So I use a couple of scoops of dry oat chaff. One. Now this is also an excellent way to ensure that your cow's getting the nutrition they need, especially if you pasture feed them. This is the little treat that they get, or their breakfast, and it ensures that they come in like clockwork every morning to be milked, and you don't have to chase them down. So, because it's a good chance for us to get nutrition into them, I use this. I've had this, it's a horse muesli, but I've had this evaluated by our cow experts. And basically, what it does is it adds all their minerals and nutrients into it as well. You know, horsey people put a lot of money and effort into their horses to get peak performance. So you can't really get anything like this for cows in my area. I don't know if others can. So I do about 2 scoops worth.
Oh no.
Did she poop?
She put it outside and dragged
That's okay, I'll wash it out. So it's a great time to actually make sure they're getting all their nutrition, especially because we're hoping Deirdre's pregnant, but also she's producing milk for us. So it's taking a lot of her energy and her reserves out of her body. So we need to make sure she gets all of that replaced. That's super important as well. So we give her a bit of everything.
That green stuff?
Oats. We don't have lucerne at the moment because she's already getting tons of green out in the pasture, and we know what she's getting. She's getting clovers, oats, cape weed and all that sort of stuff. There's all nutrition in that. So yeah, then if we know we're ready, and Brock's taken down we have a little side fence up here because they know that food is kept in here. You know, when they're out here during the day, they will quite often break into the shed and try and get into the food barrel, so we often fence it off. So yeah, now I make sure she uses her manners, so with that, I hold that there because she's very impatient. Give it a mix, let her in. So I sit here, I always make sure, and I think that it's education I've learnt from being around horses, just let them know you're there. Before you sit down and shock them, put your hand on them, she can feel that I'm here, and no reaction. If you just sat down and touched her, you might get a kick. And that's all things that step out. Good girl, lovely manners. Good girl. Now I've taught her that because she used to stand with her legs together, not wanting me to touch her udder, which is fair. We were the first humans to ever touch her udder, so she didn't like it. It's not something she was used to. Now we give a nice, now make sure it's body temperature, not too hot and not too cold. It's just for their comfort. If the experience is pleasant and she enjoys it and it's not full of stress and, you know, in the middle of winter she's getting a cold cloth on her, then she's more likely to enjoy it and not want to, you know, resist it and stuff like that. And she won't muck around and misbehave. And I just sort of, I'm of the philosophy, if you treat someone or an animal like you want to be treated, then you'll always be treated really well. And she's actually never really been horrible to me. We've both been inexperienced, so we did learn together. But yeah, I've always just kept that philosophy with all my animals, and I've never really had a drama. I've never been attacked or hurt by an animal or anything like that. And yeah, she works really well for me. Now this cow is a really messy cow. She's always got mess on her back end. But so I do this little step where I use this and I try and make sure that her tail does not touch her udder once I've cleaned it. So I only ever do it on the hair. There's no actual tail in there. And it just ties it off so she doesn't swish it around and touch the udder that I've just cleaned. Hey little Lemmy. Come here, hi little Sheila. She's alright. Don't stand there, guys. Don't stress her out. She's not.
Underneath the igloo.
Yeah, that's okay. It's not empty, it's just the way she's standing. Okay. Now, the next step is udder balm. And I have a beautiful friend who makes this. It's all natural. It uses things like coconut oil and olive oil. And if you wanted to, you could add essential oils if, say, she had any udder damage, but she doesn't. She's got weaned babies now. So we just keep her udder really nice and supple. It's kind of like if you've got dry, cracked hands, you know, it's not comfortable. It doesn't feel nice. So we just, yes, love?
Remember when she had cuts in her udder?
She did, and that's why we weaned her babies, because they were the ones doing it. Yep.
Yeah. And we put some of that udder balm and it fixed it.
Yeah, that's right. We used a bit of Correct-X as well, which is to heal the cuts. So she stepped out to do a poo, did she?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting there.
Well, that's good manners, Deirdre. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then
Unless you feel like there's more in there.
Right, so a few other things that we make sure of. We try and keep this area as clean as possible. So after I finish milking, I use this cleaning water. Once I've rinsed everything, I use this cleaning water to wet this down and sweep it out. So we've got fresh, clean concrete all the time. That just also, I like things to be clean, but it's also like if she happens to drop the teats off, or if the suction, I'm not concentrating on the suction releases, then they drop onto a very clean surface. I do always wash them again, don't get me wrong. Bit of noise, so you turn it on. She's really used to the noise, but in the beginning when she wasn't, I always made sure I held her, turned it on. I always say bit of noise so she sort of hears that. They're very smart animals. She'll figure it out. Right, and to make suction, we turn it up quite high to start with. Once I see milk starting to flow, I turn it right down to the pulsating section or off completely. It's built up suction. It doesn't need to be doing this the whole time. You'll just hurt her teats. So they're on. And I like to keep this from kinking. Sometimes that kinks over. And we don't want that, so I do that. Just place it there like that. And that also keeps the hose out of her way. So if you come down here, you'll see that the milk started. So we turn it right down. And if you hear this machine, it's just doing a pulsating move now. And it's only just on, so just keeping that air on.
I'm trying to make it.
And why is this here? No, darling, don't kick. No, it needs to be over there under the cover. So if it rains, nothing ever gets in there. Right, so the milk's flowing. We can hear it running very steadily into the bucket. And this is what I was talking about. She's a very messy cow on her back end. So if we can keep things like her tail from touching this area where what we're keeping really clean, because we drink our milk raw, unpasteurized, unhomogenized. So we want it to be in the best quality, no particulates of poop or anything in there. If we did happen to get any in, we discard it. It goes to the pigs. Chickens love milk as well. You can add it with bread and stuff, it's good for them. But we try not to waste our milk because we make cheeses and yogurts and sour cream and cream products out of it, even ice cream. We haven't yet, but we will be doing that. So yeah, I've only got 2 cups. I like working between the 4 quarters of the udder. So these are the back 2 quarters and these are the 2 front quarters of the udder. And I like doing that because that's kind of what the calves do when they're feeding. Cows generally only have 1 calf at a time, and you'll see when they're drinking, they rotate between the udders. Yes, it would be quicker to put all 4 cups on, but I think possibly more stressful. And I want to be able to focus on, if this one gets empty before this one, then I can move that cup to the front and I'm not having it suck on an empty quarter and doing any damage to her udder. She's only 2, she's only hopefully pregnant with her 2nd baby. So we could get a lot of years out of this cow if we treat her right and we make sure she has the right nutrition. We make sure that we treat her with love and kindness. We make sure we treat her udder very gently, and we make sure it gets no damage. Then we will ensure that we're getting a long life out of this milking cow. And then so we'll get all this done. I'm not going to film the entire thing, but I will film when we change the cups. It's very simple and easy. When a quarter's nearly empty, step out a bit, babe. Step out a bit, love. Come on. That's it. Step out. That's it. Good girl. All right. So if you see here, this one's still got a lot, and this one's nearly empty. So if the flow hasn't stopped yet, we can see if it's still flowing by the milk here in the tubes. When one has finished, you'll see nothing. So what we do, we just gently pull on that cup a little bit and see if we can create a bit more suction. And if it still releases milk, there's still more in there. It's just up at the top. And once we know that they're both empty, we just gently release the suction. I just put my finger in there to release any suction, and then we pop it over onto the front, and the same process applies. Right, so we can see here that her back quarters are empty. We give a little bit of pull down. See, there's a little bit of milk still coming out of one of them. Wait until that stops. Then I break the suction with my finger so as not to hurt her teats. And then we go onto the front ones. Where are they? There we go. And then wait till the suction. Here we go. So turn it up a little bit, get the suction happening. And I hold my fingers on her udder to feel that the suction has happened so that we can turn that down as quick as possible. Now the ultimate aim for me, so this is the cheapest setup you can do when it comes to milking, other than hand milking. And we do know that we can hand milk her. If you go back to the video where we had no power at the homestead, then you'll find that I hand milked her perfectly fine. It's just that her teats are fairly short. So when you're hand milking, ideally you want the milk to come out the bottom, whereas her teat sort of comes to the middle of my hand. It was quite difficult, but we made do. So we know that we can do hand milking with her, but also the machine. All right, now suction's on. Turn it right down to the pulsing section. But yeah, this is the cheapest one. I think I paid about 180 bucks for the whole setup, including the pump, the motor, and this, and you know, all of it together. I do believe they're a little bit more expensive now with everything that's going on in the world, but I am looking at getting a standalone unit with a big compressor and stuff, and then that would be a different scenario. It would have a pulsator on it. I'm still hoping to just do two teats at a time. I do like that because you're a bit more involved, and you know, like I said, you don't have one quarter empty and still sucking, and you don't want that. So I am aiming at that. It's something I'm saving for, hence why I went back to work. I know that you probably saw that in a recent video. Today's one of my days off, so I've got out here to do this, and I can do it a lot slower and sort of more relaxed. Right, can you come? Oh, that's Gracie quietening her little bull calf.
My bull calf.
Our bull calf. We release her from the head bail and she steps out. Good girl, Dierdre, lovely. Do you want to take it? Just go stand out there with her. We're going to take her up to the pasture. So with the milking machine, all I do, make sure the milk's out of the tube, pull it off, take this tube off the motor and plug it in here so that we can get nothing comes into this. It's a fully closed system, keeping our milk nice and clean and fresh and nothing in it. Then I use this cleaning water. That's the air tube, so this is what creates the air. Sometimes the milk backs up into that tube, so I want to make sure that gets a rinse out as well. Now this is just a rinse, guys, so we do wash it with detergent and then rinse it out with boiling water to disinfect it every day. This is just to get this milk solids out so that it doesn't dry in there. I found that it cleans a lot easier. Alright, so that's been rinsed. Now what I do, yeah, we won't count our chickens yet. We don't know if she's pregnant just yet. And I was disappointed last time, so I don't want to be feeling disappointed this time. I just get the cloth. All this stuff goes inside. Generally one of the kids takes it for me, and I then clean up all the baby's things. Once I've rinsed everything, because we're on rainwater, I try and get the best use out of everything. So I give these all a big rinse. When these go back inside as well, these also get a very good dishwashing liquid wash and a big rinse out with hot water because it's feeding babies and we need to keep that all very hygienic. This area here, wetting it down because she did do a poo in there, so we do need to clean it. Nothing left in here. do this every day, it's a lot easier to do and a lot easier to get clean. So, half a bucket.
She wants to walk somewhere and walk just not.
And the other half. Okay. So we keep this area as clean as possible. To answer a few commonly asked questions, why don't I have a rubber mat in here? 2 reasons. 1, it's harder to keep clean. Poo gets under it and stuff if she does happen to poo or wee in here. 2, our cow experts have expressed that walking in and out of a concreted area is the best way to keep their hooves from overgrowing. Dierdre's a cow that does grow hooves very quickly. Some cows don't, and they don't need rasping and things. She does. So we don't want her hooves to grow too long and have the back of her heel stepping wrong on the ground. So as she has long hooves, I want her to be walking in and out of here as many times as possible, because that sort of rasps her hooves down. We will have to get someone in to rasp her hooves down anyway, but it is a great way to help that. So, and also I feel like it's a lot cleaner. I get everything out, it's clean. Then yeah, this all goes inside. I pour off the milk with a filter and I clean everything and disinfect everything. Ready for the next day. And I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was the information you were after. If there was anything I missed and you want to know more about it, please comment below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you really liked it and you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. It helps us out, and then you're able to see all our videos when we release them. Hit the bell icon, which means every time I release a video, you'll be notified that I've released a new video. Thanks so much for watching, and until the next video, bye for now.